Hi everyone, this is Kandra, author of the Natural Soap Color Palette and Soap Maker here at Olive Goods. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you today to show you some of the molds that we use. This is for two reasons. One, I've had a lot of customers ask me how we make our soaps and the shapes and sizes that we do. And also I have a lot of soap makers who have read my book wondering where the mandala molds that are featured on the cover of the book come from. So I thought I'd just show you the molds that I use and how I made some of them. First, I'll show you, this is one of our larger bulk soap molds. It comes fully apart so we can wash it, and it's a 12 by 10 block mold. So we would pour the soap into here after lining it, and then we'll cut this large slab into individual loaves and then cut those loaves into bars. Next up, these are our pipe molds, and it's an 18-inch pipe. We have a pipe cap on the bottom. We line these and we pour soap directly into here. We then cut it either into our half rounds or into full rounds, depending on what the request was or what soap we're making. We'll fill as many as 10 of these at a time with a batch. Those are probably one of my favorite, most universal molds. Next, before we get into some of the more decorative molds, this one is fantastic. This is a flat piece of plastic board that has been cut. I'll include a link in the video below to the video I followed to make these. I really love these because they store flat. This is one of the molds for our mini guest soap molds that you can order on the website. What's great about these is I've already said they can store flat, but also we can cut them to any shape or size that we want to. And I've used these, as I said, for our mini guest soaps. I also poured into something similar all of the soaps that are in the sampler kits for the Natural Soap Color Palette. And when we're doing sample bars for some of our private label or wholesale or just custom soaps, and we really just want a smaller batch of soap so that we can cut it into an actual bar shape, so the final shape it would be, but in a smaller batch, we'll make a mold much like this. When we're done, we just release these are just paper clips. And since this is all soap safe plastic, it pops off really easily. So very easy to unmold, very versatile. I really love these. And again, I'll put a link to where a video that shows you how to make those. Next up, these guys. So this is our Ganesha elephant mold. This is a bar of soap from a custom batch that was just made last week. And these are the mandala soaps. This is one of the blended greens from the Natural Soap Color Palette book. And everyone wants to know where I got these and where they can get them. So I'll show you where to get those from. This is our sun and moon mold, one of them. We have a few dozen of these. These were ordered online, mass-produced silicone. They're great little molds, nice pretty shape. Right now, currently on the website, we have one of our friends' soaps, Elizabeth, is in this mold. And this is another mass-produced mold. This is our Chrysanthemum Mold. We've used this for Christina as well as a couple other soaps in the past, and we're probably going to be pouring into it again soon. We do have quite a few of these, so we do use them for custom orders as well. And it's a very washable, friendly mold. You can turn them inside and out and scrub them real clean. And they store really well. So for soap makers, there's a lot of benefit in this kind of thinner piece. When you're pouring into them, you do need to kind of make sure you're on a nice flat surface. I try and make sure all of the centers of the flowers are nice and flat against the surface versus having it say tipped out a little bit there, where you might get a lopsided flower. But other than that, very, very nice mold. This one, I use a scrub brush to get in there and clean everything out when I'm cleaning this one. Okay, so that's all of the basic molds. Now let's get to what most people, at least most of the soap makers out there, have been wondering, this mandala mold and this Ganesha elephant mold. So when I bought these, this was about 5-6 years ago, this is what I received. It's a very flimsy plastic mold. I'm not sure how well you can see that since it's plastic. Or if you can see here, it started breaking. These are very difficult to use. Soap is very, very difficult to unmold. They're very difficult to clean. Overall, I absolutely hated using the mold, but I absolutely loved the design of the mold. So what I did was I used my plastic, and you can do this with any cavity of anything that you find that you want to make your own mold out of. I poured plaster into the mold, let that set up, and popped those out. I then, and here's the plaster, what I did here was I glued the plaster down to a piece of plastic board. Then I varnished the plaster so it'd be nice and shiny. I learned with silicone that if you want what comes out to be shiny, then what you made the mold out of needs to be shiny as well. So I just varnished the tops of the mold. And then I made a little box, very similar to how I made the plastic board mold. Same concept there. So I could pour silicone into there. So I took my mold, I made a positive, and I used that positive to make these guys. These are handmade silicone molds made from a positive. Now, your positive does not have to be plaster. It could be anything that you have around the house that you love and you think would make a great bar of soap. There are hobby shops that sell silicone. You'll want to talk with them about what's the correct silicone to use. You want to be using a food-safe, soap-safe silicone. I can put a link down below to the silicone that I use to make these. But yeah, that's about it. I took a beautiful shape that I found that was in a horrible plastic mold. I made a positive, lacquered it, made a box around it, and poured silicone into it. And that is how I make my Ganesha elephant and my mandala soaps. All right, I hope that answered a question that I answer quite often in our Facebook group. And if you're a soap maker, I hope to see you there. And if you are one of my customers and you'd like to know more about our soaps, or you would like to have a custom mold made for you, please reach out to us. We always love hearing from you. Okay, everyone, have a great day. Thanks. Bye.